And so I love the point today that Reverend Catherine was sharing with us from the 64 days of this wonderful time of nonviolence. And it's about understanding the energy of life and how everything that grows has seeds within it. And those seeds are a continuum of the energy that each is. And so this is springtime, and it is a time of sowing, and we can ask ourselves, what is it that I am sowing as a result of what I'm thinking, as a result of what I'm feeling, as a result of how I'm acting, and what I am and who I am being. It's very interesting that you and I have the capacity to turn fertile soil fallow, or to grow amazing, wonderful good from that soil. The choice is always yours and mine, and that's why it's a reminder every day from the scriptures: choose this day the blessing or the curse. Choose this day to be awake or asleep. Choose this day to be mindful or mindless. Choose this day, and so on it goes. So it might be a good question today to ask ourselves, what am I sowing in life and living? And what will that harvest be as a result of what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling and what I'm doing and what I'm, about and who I'm being? And isn't that strange? Because regardless of the thought for the day, I opened a book this morning and I thought, well, whatever it is, it's going to be what Spirit requires of us to ponder today. A spirit in the collective and not just the individual. And it was one of Raymond Charles Barker's books, and I can't remember the title of it now because I just copied the pages if I wanted to read a page instead of holding a whole book. And the piece I opened, believe it or not, and I mean, it's when you do this, when you open things randomly, thinking I'm going to find something great here, it'll be exactly what I need today. It may not always be what you want it to be or expect it to be. It might be something entirely different, and you might even think of, oh, I'll go to another chapter. I don't want to think about that yet. I don't do that. I just take what's given to me and make the most of it. And it's always yummy and good. So it was on chapter 4 of the book, and the heading was, Resentment is Ruin. Well, I can assure you resentment wasn't something I wanted to ponder this morning, but here I am pondering it this morning. And he says, resentment is an abnormal direction of emotion with an unconscious intent on self-destruction. Now, who would have thought of that? That every time you and I carelessly, mindlessly, or deliberately go into that state of resenting something or someone, we're going into a state of self-destruction. It's going to be something that's going to take from us rather than enrich us. And so he says, its indulgence creates havoc in every area of our lives. It is harmful to our bodies, our business, our friendships, and our finances. Its insidious operation infiltrates all our unconscious actions. When we allow our subconscious mind to be saturated with this emotional malignancy, you are not only in trouble, I'm not only in trouble, we are headed for even more trouble. Now, this is not something you and I want to necessarily hear right now, because there's not one of us that hasn't been resentful at some time or another, and indeed some of us may still be hanging on to resentfulness, and it's self-destructing. Now, are we going to wake up and understand this or not? Maybe this is the day for some of us to get that. The natural and normal state of your and my emotion is one of order, peace, and givingness or love. God equipped us to feel the greatness of life and to impart our feelings to others. Our emotions are divine gifts that should be used rightly. Most people make no attempt to control their emotions through understanding their nature and their purpose. So instead of understanding who and what we truly are and our great empowerment and our capacity to be a light and a lifesaver and a life giver and a life uplifter, we're buried in our resentments that keeps us shallow and keeps us narrow and keeps us small, upsets us and even sickens us. What sense does that make? None, of course. He says, in fact, most of us are led around by our emotions like sheep following a shepherd. Led around by our emotions like sheep following a shepherd. It doesn't enter our thinking to direct ourselves aright. Okay, so I guess what this is saying to all of us this morning, look, if you're still buried in resentment of some kind or another, or if you're not, smoldering in it at the moment, but have put it on a top shelf somewhere to be taken out again and become one with, perhaps now is the time to understand it doesn't do us a whit of good, as the old lady said in the west of Ireland. It doesn't do us a whit of good. I'm sure a whit means a tad, and a tad means a tiny, teeny, weeny bit, minuscule bit. Doesn't do us any good to be resentful. And yet people say, I'm entitled to my resentments because, they're approved of by all that is good and whole and holy. Well, they're not. And besides, you're only punishing yourself. I'm only punishing myself every time I go into resentment. Does that make any sense at all? Whoever it is I'm resenting, whatever it is I'm resenting, has no idea of what I'm doing and being, and they could care less. They're going on about their lives, living their lives, and so on, and here am I, filling myself up with their, sense and sensibility in my mind of wrongness. And how can I be in rightness if I'm all the time pondering the wrongness of whether it's myself or another? It's impossible because, we can only occupy the space we're on ourselves and in ourselves. Two things cannot occupy the same space, as we prove through physics. I mean, if I sit in that chair, the only one who can sit in the chair is to sit on top of me, and then they're not even sitting on the chair, they're sitting on me. It's impossible. So where are you now with all this resentment? Because wherever you are, all of us could take a look of it and see, is there any residue of it left over in me, even though I'm this amazingly committed student of truth on the spiritual path, devoted to my spiritual practices and all of that. And yet, my dear ones, lurking in the dark recesses of our minds and our emotions is the monster resentment, waiting for an opening to pounce. Is there any of that still going on within your mind, your emotion, or mine? Well, this is the day, I suppose, when the universe is saying, okay, you have your chance now. Step out of it, get out of it, come up out of the grave of it, breathe the light and the life, and let it go. And here's the kicker. How do we most quickly get out of the resentment we have toward another or a something? And most of us are not going to like the answer. Bless the someone or the something. Bless and bless and bless until there is a genuine sense in you that truly is blessing. To begin with, it may be through gritted teeth, but keep at it. And I'll endeavor to do the same if I'm challenged, or when, I should say, when I'm challenged in that way. Because I'm a human being and I have clay feet like every other human person. And sometimes those clay feet want to be the whole of me and the all of me, and I say no. That is, when we're awake and alert, we can say no. So look at that now, my dear ones. I mean, it's not all sunshine and roses, as you know. I mean, to keep your house lovely and beautiful in the way you want it, there's hard work to be done for that to happen. It's called maintenance. Maintenance. You are a house. You're a house that houses the infinite presence of the One. You're the tabernacle of the Most High, the scriptures tell us. Within you is amazing grace. The Spirit resides within you. You are the temple of the Holy Spirit. The temple of the Holy Spirit. The house of the Holy Spirit. Now, it's going to make a huge difference in your day and mine depending upon how we respond to this. Can we breathe the stuff out of us? Just breathe it out of us and breathe in the light, breathe in the healing, breathe in the blessing. Breathe it out on the wings of a blessing. And let in and breathe in the light, the life, the healing, the empowerment, the integration of one who simply wants to and does bless. So, I mean, there's a whole lot more here that Raymond Charles Barker has to say. But he does say here, remember this, you are not a victim of circumstances, hereditary, nor environment. You are not, one who has inherited this from there, this from over here, and this from that. We don't inherit anything except our true inheritance. And that's the inheritance of the kingdom. And the inheritance of the kingdom is that you must have life and have it in abundance, that your joy may be complete, and that you may have the peace that passes understanding, and that you may find your way into the kingdom and have available to you all of its good. All of its good. And the way to finding our way into the kingdom is certainly nothing to do with resentment, because that will keep the locks on the door of all of that good. And we certainly will not be able to have life in abundance and so on and so forth if we are still resenting. Because resentment does one thing, and one thing very well. It punishes the one who's resenting. It punishes the one who is resenting. No good comes from it. None whatsoever. Not a tad. Doesn't do any good at all. But it does make you feel contracted and clenched and hard, and closes down our true ability to breathe, relax, release, and let go, and have a hop, skip, and jump in our step. Stops us from seeing all the amazing beauty and grace around us. Yes, beauty and grace around us no matter what's going on out there. There is always that for those who are focused and can see. Stops us from hearing the music of creation, the music of the spheres. hearing it out there only when we first hear it from within. Stop so much of our beauty and graceful experiences, our beauties and graceful experiences of life. Resentment will do it. There's no rest, there's no peace, there's no settling, there's no calm, there's no sense of everything being okay. None whatsoever. You go to bed with it, you wake up with it. It's like a very, very menacing shadow. So, let's put that on our list today for things to be mindful of and practice non-resentment in little things. Don't resent your car if when you turn the key it doesn't start. That kind of thing. Start there. And then become the great non-resenter in everything. It's like gratitude. How do you become a grace-filled, grateful person? By being grateful for every single thing. At our Tea and Inspiration, one of our wonderful members was saying that one day, happened to be the day we were having our meeting, she had decided that she was going to be grateful for everything. So if she went to the refrigerator and opened it, she was grateful to the refrigerator, and so on and so forth. And don't laugh, because I do this all the time too. I say, come on now, you kitchen sink, you know how to be. Faucet, you know how to, not trip, etc. And I'm very grateful for all the times that you flow beautifully and perfectly and so on. I do have conversations like that. And I smiled at myself when I heard her saying it, because I do the same thing. When I'm really on the mindfulness ball, so to speak, as far as gratitude is concerned, I'm very grateful for everything and everyone. Choose wherever it is that causes the greatest aggravation, or choose your Achilles heel, wherever you have the weakest response to. Choose that and then change the energy and attitude around it. Now, as you know, we always have something to work toward here. As my mother used to say, if you want to hit the top of the tree, aim for the star above it. So that's the difference between your vision and your mission. Your vision is always more than you could ever possibly achieve, and your mission is your ability to throw that stone at the star so that you can hit the top of the tree, which is really what your goal is. And then, I believe that eventually you will reach the star. Why? Because we're stardust. Physics proves that. Chemistry and physics proves we're just starlight, stardust. Isn't that a lovely thought? It's a lovely thought. And remember, if we are stars, we're meant to shine. We're meant to bring light. We're meant to be light bearers, light radiators. So life is really a beautiful, wonderful, unfolding, unwinding mystery. But it's a good mystery. It's not a horror mystery, it's a good mystery. And you and I are the sleuths, we're the detectives. We get to unravel more and more and more of the fabric of it all. Life is like a huge jigsaw. You and I arrive at a couple of pieces. And can you imagine, from a couple of pieces, trying to picture in your mind what this jigsaw is when you don't have a picture of it? All you have is a couple of pieces. But every now and again you come across a piece and it clicks. That might be part of this. Kind of has the same coloring, sort of same shape, same size, whatever. So I'm going to leave us with the understanding that resentment is something that is not good for us. It is not good. It's a toxic thing. It's not medicine. It's a toxic, poisonous thing. And for you and I to find an antidote for our particular way of being. And the antidote for everybody will be different. I always find gratitude is a beautiful thing. Blessing is a beautiful thing. These are wonderful healers, wonderful healers. And remember this, instead of thinking around resentments and what we haven't got and so on and so forth, and how we feel not great in ourselves or less than ourselves and so on, this is a perfect week for you and for me to tune in to a way of blessing in a beautiful way. We're coming up on Sunday to Valentine's Day. And so how wonderful it would be if you could reach out to a few people and be a Valentine to them. You could write a little note if you don't have a card and you don't want to go out and shop for one. Write a little Valentine note. Send a little Valentine text. If you have a Valentine card, send out the Valentine cards. Pick people carefully. People, who really, will appreciate that and will find it a wonderful surprise. I mean, truly, we're all each other's Valentine, and we ought to be able to Valentine each other, all of us. All those people who serve you, all those people, if you're going to the grocery store, bring a Valentine card and just give somebody a Valentine card with, and for those of us who can and so on, a $5 gift certificate to Starbucks for a coffee and say, have one on me. They actually have cards that say, this one is on me, with a cup of coffee on it. Whatever you want to feel looks like you being a Valentine to someone or others, be the Valentine. It comes once a year, And it's not that commercial kind of sloppy, syrupy thing. That's not what Valentine's Day is all about. And it originated way back, the cards originated in England through Albert and Victoria sitting together with the children, and the children all making cards for each other, the family and the mommy and the daddy. That's how the card thing started up, got off the ground. And Valentine's Day is based on the story of Saint Valentine, who sacrificed himself greatly for others, and so it's a family affair. It's a family affair, Valentine's Day is. And so we have our immediate family and the outer family. So be Valentines to everybody from here on in, and indeed, every single day of the week. Now I'm looking for my pile of papers here because it's time to bless our gift. I've had the light shining on me now. They give me a sign. Time to, pull it all together and go into that gratitude I'm talking about. And remember that not everybody, by any manner or means, indeed very few of us on the planet can do this. We can take from what we have and we can share it. Whereas the majority of people on the planet right now are just wondering how they're going to make it through the day or through the week, how they're going to take care of their family, how they're going to take care of the basic fundamental needs of those whom they love. And here we are with this opportunity to share from our daily bread, regardless of what size the loaf is. There's always a few crumbs we can share. So we're going to take our gift and we're going to hold our gift close to heart. And we are going to know that somehow or another that through my generosity, through my giving, others will benefit. Others will benefit. And so I, in gratitude, say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. And so, my dear ones, those of you looking in now, maybe some of you are new for the first time. We're delighted you found us. Please come and be with us again. And to all you faithful, beautiful, wonderful members and all our friends, just know you're all kept very close to mind and heart, wrapped up in prayerful thought. Absolutely. We're here for you as best as we can be here for you. And so thank you for for being in community like this together so that we can all make a much bigger difference in our world than we can on our own. So take care of yourselves. Be good and kind to yourself. Be your own best Valentine, which means keep yourself healthy and well in mind, body, heart, and soul, and in the body of your affairs, so that you have this wonderful energy to take into the world every single day, even if that world is under your own roof in your own home. There are no walls to the givingness of life unto itself. Goes right out, reaches everything and everyone. So please know that we are eternally grateful to all of you for your support, for your good thoughts, your good deeds, your good feelings. That makes all the difference in our world. To the beautiful people who are serving our food pantry so graciously, and to those of you who are doing it so faithfully, you are making a great difference. Thank you so very much. And please stay in touch, stay connected. Join us in all of the things that are available virtually. And if you don't have a problem with the technology, call us and we'll help you out. So I will leave you now knowing that the world needs you very much. And it needs every one of us to be the best of ourselves, especially now. So to all you beautiful Valentines out there, keep the love growing, keep the light on, and keep the energy flowing. So I will leave you now. As the children always say farewell, especially Isla and Ryan. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Take care and really celebrate yourself in this day. And so it is.